right, welcome to another episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan.
Happy to be here.
Of course, man. Thanks for being here. And today we have a very special episode. This individual, my wife got stuck on his Instagram for over an hour. He's crushing it in the real estate world and doing things very innovative with the way that he's approaching his listing videos. And today we have Matt on Real Estate vs. Technology. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here. Excited to chat with y'all.
Yeah, man, we're looking to deep dive into your business and getting into your business. Let's start off with just the basics, like how long you've been in the business and why the heck did you get into the real estate business?
Yeah. So, it's a good question. I've been in for 4 years now, and I was a touring musician before real estate. So when I made that transition, I was telling all my family, I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to try real estate. And they're like, oh, that's, you only make money when you sell houses. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I don't make any money now being a touring musician. Half the time I go play and nothing, they don't even pay us. So I was like, you're telling me I can make money every time I sell a house? And rest is kind of history. I got my first listing like 3 weeks in, and it's been kind of going uphill from there.
That's awesome. So how long has it been now, and what areas are you serving?
So it's been 4 years. Well, I guess October this year will be 5 years, but I do like Toronto and then the greater Toronto area, like Durham region and stuff.
Okay. Fantastic. That's awesome. So as far as past 12 months, give us some context as far as like transaction volume, buy side, sell side. What is that?
So I was on Teams for a long time. And then you'll notice when I started transitioning my content, that's when I went solo because I had more freedom. So a lot of it's messed up, but yeah, I'm not like a crazy top producer. I'll do like 10 to 15 deals, average sales price, 500 grand, 600 grand. I'm trying to raise that sale price now. That's kind of what I'm doing. And I've always kind of been, when I started, it was like kind of lower volume. And since I started these videos is where I've really noticed like an adjustment in my business, and it's really like taking it to the next level. I mean, in September, I closed like 2.5 million just from video, just from Instagram. So So the last like 6 months, it's starting to really like, cause I mean, the stuff you do a year, they say 90 days out, but really like the things I was doing at the beginning of last year, I'm starting to see now. So that's how you have to approach it. It's not a quick game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can only imagine. I feel like you're only at like the tip of the iceberg as far as content creation, YouTube channel, your actually Instagram channels behind us here. I know you just said you hit 10,000. Congratulations. And last year, 2020. So that's huge. And I can only imagine what's going to happen from here because I mean, some of your videos I saw almost have 40,000 views on the IG Reels, which is awesome. So, I mean, that compound effect, it's going to definitely work in your benefit. But on the buy side, sell side, do you work with primary buy side, sellers, buyers?
A lot of first time home buyers. Okay. I'm 29. So a lot of that, that's my kind of age group, but I've been like slowly getting into the higher end market. So like I'll be pulling out, like we just posted one 3.5 million today. I did a video on it, and that's the range I'm trying to get into. Nice. But while still I love working with first time home buyers because it's, before real estate, I was broke. I had no money, terrible credit. And then like within 2 years, I, got my own house. So like, I love when people come to me, they're like, oh, I have shit credit and I can't do this, can't do that. I'm like, we'll figure it out. I love
like figuring it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, you can't be worse off than I was.
The one thing I have to say that I see in your future is that I can only imagine you working with some celebrities and some people actually in the industry. I could see that. I could see someone reaching out to you like, dude, Matt, I love the cover. Like, I want you to help me on it. I can only imagine you on a video with like some of these individuals that you're, going through, seeing their music, redoing it. I mean, yeah, I can see that for you.
That'd be sick. That'd be legit.
What a great way of taking your musical talent and being able to infuse that into a marketing strategy that works in real estate. I think that's a lot about what I think we tell people, that, you know, you don't have to do everything just like everyone else. You need to have your own spin on things and create that demand gen for yourself and your brand and your real estate business. So that's awesome.
Right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's been the last year is really, like I said, it's really kind of picked everything up, and it started just as a joke. I didn't really think anything of it. Like when I started doing this content, and then it just kind of grew.
I love that. And that's the thing, right? Don't think about what other people think or let external influences dictate that outcome of your success. Just fucking go for it. Excuse my language. Like, I just love dealing with that. I mean, this next question kind of goes into what we're talking about right now. I mean, if anyone follows you, it's a no-brainer. But what would you say separates you from the rest of the agents out there?
I think I bring a real approach and also a genuine approach. That's what a lot of people reach out. Like I said, it's my main lead source now is my Instagram. And a lot of people will reach out and they'll say, listen, you know, we want you to come by. We just think you're real, genuine. You're not going to bullshit, beat around the bush. You're just going to tell us like it is. Yeah. So I think I bring a real approach, a fun approach. But I still back it up with, you know, with real listings and stuff like that. So I just think, I mean, I gravitate towards funny commercials and stuff like that. And that's what I think Instagram is. It's just a commercial. So why would I make like a boring commercial? And I just started a year ago when I really like flicked the switch. I just started posting with more intent, and it's all about, you know, I have a dog that I love, and, you know, I could post every day about my dog, but people are going to lose interest. Right. So it's like, okay, what can I post that's going to keep people engaged, grow this? Because like, you can't just, you know, oh, here's my fucking pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. How many times can you do that? People are going to, like, you know what I mean? So I just started posting with more intent and really creating content, and it's a part of my business now. So, you know, I time block Instagram. So yeah, that's just kind of how I think of things. And I just think, yeah, it's real, it's fun. And yeah, hopefully people enjoy it.
I love that. It's good tips for our viewers and listeners. And it's funny because my wife was like, I'm really interested. I want to watch the podcast because I want to kind of see, like, you know, is Matt, is that really how he is? And it's like, dude, yeah, this is Matt. You really like this, like, or whether he's on a video doing his thing. So dude, kudos to you. One last question before we get into lightning rounds with Dan, and that would be technology disrupting your business. So since you started to now where you're at, I mean, from my perspective, I would say it's video, but what was something that you adapted or you or disrupted your real estate business that you're like, oh, light bulb, this is it. Like, I got to use this tech.
Yeah, it was 100% video. So how this all started was, like I said, I was on Teams before. And then when I went solo, I had some of these ideas, some of these first video ideas I've had since I got into the business. And everyone was like, people aren't going to take you serious. You can't do it. And I was on Teams, so I had to follow their brand, right? And rightfully so. I mean, they want their brand a certain way. So when I went solo, I was like, you know, I'm just going to try one of these ideas. So I did one of my first videos it's called the Shut the Front Door video. So it's like a listing thing. And I keep almost swearing every time. So I'll be like, here's this house. If you don't like it, you can and then it cuts, it goes front door. And I'm, you know, kind of like that. So I did like a funny video like that. And it was for a listing. It was a really shitty listing. And I needed to market it some way. It got like 10,000 views in the first day. And the first day I got 3 offers and sold it in like 8 hours. And 2 of the offers were from the video. And I know that because people called me and they said, hey, we just saw your video. Like, can we see the house? And so after that, I was like, okay, there's something, it's not just a joke. So I was just posting it just to be dumb. And then it just kind of, that's, you know, then it's like, I was like, there's something here. And then I really started like trying stuff, and you can totally see the growth of it. I started kind of, you know, just cookie cutter, and then it gets edgier and riskier because I like being on that line of like, should he should you say that shit? Or like, I don't know if you should say that. I like being on that line. And you can see how it grows and gets edgier and edgier. And then the swearing started coming into it. And it's just, I swear a lot. Like I try to not swear as much, on these things, but sometimes it just doesn't, I can't help it. But, and then just like, it was all video, and people, they'll message me. They'll be like, Matt, I want to grow my business through social, but I'm not funny. And like, I always tell them, you don't have to be funny. You just have to be genuine to yourself, hone in on a hobby and interest and niche down. And then, if you love horseback riding, post about horseback riding, and then you're going to attract other people who like horseback riding. Exactly. So as soon as I niche down, a lot of people check right out as soon as I say fuck. They're like, no, fuck this guy, I'm not working with him. But as soon as I niche down, my business got broader. Mm-hmm. And it's weird because you would think the broader you are, the more business you would get, but it's actually the opposite, because the broader you are, you're the same as everyone else. You can't be broad and different, really, unless you're like Ryan Serhant. Mm-hmm. He's got a massive reach, and he's different and unique, but I just niche down on it. And people are like, well, it's easy for you. You're a natural. You just see my fucking videos when I started real estate. Wasn't natural.
Yeah.
Very, very basic. So that's awesome, man. And last thing I'll say before we go to our lightning rounds is that I feel like you're going to give Ryan Serhant a run for his money. I feel like you do something so unique and different. I can only imagine when you get to that level, and now it's literally you just catching up, because now I feel like you're getting your break. So I'm looking forward to watching the process, and I'm going to go ahead and give the mic over to Dan. He's going to take away the lightning rounds to get into more of the technology you're using.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Norman. So lightning round. So this is like what's on your tool belt in 30 to 60 seconds. And I'll ask you just a bunch of different questions. Be honest, I know you're honest, but be truthful on what you're not doing and what you are doing. So agents can kind of get a good mix of like what type of marketing mix is really out there and what can relate to certain different types of personalities and people. So let me just dig right into it. You answered my first question, and I think this is it. What's your number one lead source?
Instagram.
For sure. We've been hearing this. I love cold calling and prospecting and doing that type of stuff, but we've been hearing this more and more. So I'm glad that
I fucking hate cold calling.
That's my second question, and that's why I asked that. Are you doing anything that's more traditional? Direct mail, like door knocking, anything that is like what you would call a traditional marketing in real estate?
Yeah. So, I mean, until last year, I was big on open houses, and I would generate a lot from open houses. And then I also do mail outs.
Okay.
And I cold called and door knocked for a long time. I just didn't see the conversion the same as, I could knock on 200 doors and talk to 15 people, or I could post a video and get 5,000 views in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's like, I need to start figuring out what's the best use of my time. So
it's a digital mailbox, man. It's that's the way to look at it. And then when it comes to like website or online or search or YouTube, are you taking your Instagram and reflecting that back to your YouTube? Are you trying to build a YouTube channel? Like what's your video goal there?
Yeah. So my Instagram's kind of my hub right now, and I'm directing everything out to try and build the other things, because that's my main thing. I cross promote everything on Facebook, but my Instagram content doesn't translate too well on YouTube. Like longer content's better for YouTube, shorter for Instagram. So I'm really starting to mix that and build content specific for the platform.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We've been I think one of these questions is like when you look down the road of what you're going to do for lead generation, what is it going to be, Instagram, or is it going to be Clubhouse or the newest social media platforms, right? Like it's, what worked on Facebook 5 years ago doesn't really work on Facebook anymore. So have you given that much thought in what you may do if Instagram starts to lose its grit and its traction?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's, I think a lot about that. And it's like, how can I stay relevant if, you never know what's going to happen. So that's why I'm trying to build out on more platforms now. Just, I'm I do a lot of podcasts, stuff like that. I'm actually starting a podcast of my own with the Broke Agent. We're teaming up and doing a podcast. So that's going to be good. Comes out in like it'll be out by the time this airs. But yeah, it's going to, I'm always constantly thinking of like, okay, what can I do that's different, that's going to be ahead of the game? And, I can't have all my eggs in the Instagram basket.
Totally.
But I don't get Clubhouse. I don't know what the hell's going on with it, or TikTok. TikTok's a bunch of people dancing and pointing at shit. I don't know what it is.
We joined Clubhouse last night, and it's definitely a different strategy.
Yeah.
But
I'm an Android user. So
oh, you can't even use it.
You got to get in the club, man.
Yeah.
A couple more questions. When it comes to shooting the video, right? Sometimes, what agents struggle with is like script, or what tools I use to get the video done, like planning it, whiteboarding it, whatever it is. Like, what do you do to wireframe it or get your point across and do that creative to delivery?
Yeah. So I have it scripted out completely. So these are just full scripts that I'm doing. And, I'll ad lib a bit, but I write out a script, and it might not be word for word what I'm saying, but I know exactly what part's coming next. Cause a lot of the call videos, if you've seen like the call videos, that's my wife she does all the, like, she's Kim and all the voices. But I'm not talking to anyone. So I have to time in my head, and then I get my wife to kind of like insert her lines afterwards. So I'm not actually talking to anyone. So I have to be very like scripted. So I'll write everything down in my notepad in my phone, and everything's like, it's like scripted. And that's like, a lot of people see my videos and they're like, this guy's just a fucking joke or whatever. Like a lot of people don't get it, but like it actually, it takes time. It's not like, it takes time, and it's something I care about, and I want to produce really high quality content. And it's not just like I wake up and, film that video kind of on.
On average, from like 0 to completion, how long?
Oh, to actually film it, like those call videos, literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Wow.
And like, cause you almost get it down to like a science.
Yeah.
And then you just throw it in Final Cut Pro, I guess a bit more like to actually edit it. So like 20 minutes, half hour. The songs still not as long as people think. A song to actually record the song, record the video, and then edit the video, I'd say 2.5 hours.
Wow. So you're maybe like 2 to 4 hours into a video, and you can generate one lead that's $2.5 million. And so like, basically what I'm getting at is like 4 hours converted you like a $40,000 commission check.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So September, like I said, I did like 2.5 or whatever in sales. And yeah, that's, that was all from Instagram. So when you look at it that way,
wow.
Now it's just scale. It's a great return. So if you just keep scaling that, like, so that's what I'm really focusing on. It's like I said, this started as a joke. Like I didn't think, and I thought, is this going to work, or are people going to hate me and never want to work with me ever again? So I had to take that risk too. Cause I really didn't want to be, there's a lot of real estate humor that's very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be like that cookie cutter shitty humor. If I was going to do it, I wanted to make it like, try and make it really have substance and really be funny, So I really didn't want to be cookie cutter with it.
I know we've gone a little off script for lightning round, because this is a completely unique topic, but like, how do you deal with the haters? Like, what do you say, or what do you think about like the realtors that are like, oh, this isn't traditional real estate, and you're giving us a bad image?
Yeah. Well, I don't get as many haters as a lot of people think I would. So I'm very appreciative that, everyone's really kind of welcomed it with open arms. So that's awesome. But of course I get some, and like, that's kind of, you're giving realtors a bad name. And I'm like, dudes, hate to break it to you, we didn't ever fucking really have a good name, you know, like, so like, you know, we're seen as car sales, like, you know,
glorified car salesman.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. I mean, there's some incredible, genuine, amazing agents, and there's a lot of greasy agents, and that takes over. People have one bad experience with an agent, and agents are forever, you know, scumbags. So it's not really like, I don't know.
And you see that in every industry, right? It's like,
oh yeah,
it's I always tell everybody, like, this industry, because it has a low barrier of entry, and you don't have to have a 4-year degree or a master's degree or go through like an apprenticeship or journeyman. Like, when you have that low barrier of entry, you're going to get an eclectic mix of people
yeah,
in the industry. And, you know, there's both ends of the spectrum. Like, when I first saw your videos, I was like, you know, this isn't me per se, but I freaking love it.
yeah.
Like, this is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know.
And it's just about being yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
being, you know, having a creative approach, being yourself, and yeah, just kind of take it from there. I don't, the haters, and like, if they try, and it mostly comes from Facebook groups. That's where I get most of the hate. And like, I'm pretty good on the keys. If you come at me, you're going to get it right back. I have a lot of people who come at me, and then I'll write something and they delete their whole thread. So, you know, I like when they come at me. So, sorry, that's my dog.
He was talking to all the haters there.
He was like, you know, leave my dad alone.
That's awesome. Well, that's, you know, the last question for me is like, is there any technology that you're looking to sprinkle into your business or try out in 2021? It could be editing. It could be, you know, anything, subtitles, whatever it is. Right.
Yeah. I'm really working hard to get better at editing on my end. I have an amazing team that I work with to do kind of my more involved videos. Yeah. But everything else I'm doing myself. I just bought like a nicer camera, because up until about like 4 months ago, everything was just iPhone and a lav mic. So I've started to up the equipment. So I got like a good camera, and I got Final Cut Pro. Everything was on iMovie before. So yeah, I really want to start kind of getting into some really good editing for Final Cut Pro that I can do myself. Cause then I could just, you know, it's always for me been the content first, which I think it should be. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. I think they don't start because they think, oh, well, you know, no one's going to watch if it's just on my iPhone, or, you know, I need to do this professionally. If you have good content, people will watch it. Yeah. Content's always number one.
And the phones are so advanced now. Like, I have an iPhone 12 Max. It's like, man, I don't even need a GoPro or
It's sick. It's sick. Yeah. And that's just like, so I always put content first. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm just catching up with some quality now, because the quality of my videos are pretty shit, you know, for the most part. Like, it's just, like I said, iPhone stuff. My wife films them. She's like a full, you know, I need to pay her more. She's like doing the voices, filming. Yeah. So it's pretty sweet, but you can do it all. You can do it all on a budget. Like I said, the first video I did was on an iPhone, didn't even have a lav mic. My wife filmed it. It cost me $0. It took half an hour, and I sold, you know, $500,000 house in 12 hours. So
wow. That's your ROI.
Yeah.
But listen up, agents. If you're going to get on any type of social platform, have a brand, have an angle, have some sort of content that resonates with people, either agent or end user client, and be I hate saying this word. It's like I'm on The Bachelor. Be vulnerable, but also be authentic, right? I hate that word. Sorry, everybody.
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
I love it. And Dan, thanks so much for spearheading the lightning rounds. I know that, yeah, you definitely got off a little bit script there, but it's totally fine because I think, Matt, you're so unique in what you're doing. A lot of the questions like Dan asked there is exactly, I feel like we're going to be on the viewers and listeners' minds when they see the episode and they're like, well, how, why, like, you know, give me some context. And so thanks for giving that context. I love that. It's so great too. Like, it's so cheap. It's so easy. You know, agents don't need to overcomplicate. And I think that's what happens. They overcomplicate and overthink things. And then it gets to the point where it's just like, okay, I'm done. I just, too much.
Yeah. That's it. You could spend $5,000 on a video. If the content isn't good in the video, no one's going to watch it. And then you're out $5,000. So try stuff before you go all in with it. Try stuff on your iPhone, see what works, see what doesn't work. And then, okay, once you got something that works, that's what I did. Now I started slowly, now I'm spending some money on the videos, but I've kind of gauged the return and, I have more of a vision of what I want to do, but don't spend $5,000 out the gate.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. Awesome. So I have a few more questions before the episode comes to a close. And before then, we're going to open the floor up to you. So if you consider yourself an expert in any area specifically in your market there in Canada.
I think it's so over expert, specialist. I've seen some people say real estate genius. I'm like, guys, let's get a hold of yourself. So I don't like using those words, but I think I'm very good at my job. I think, an expert, if you're an expert, you don't have to learn anything else. So I think there's always room to grow and learn. So I think I'm very, very good, and you won't be disappointed if you do work with me.
I love that. And I have a challenge / maybe it's already out there. I would love to see this for you. Is an area video. I'd love to see your take on your specific market area video and how you can add humor and showcase the city and do something super fun. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but I would
No, yeah.
In that regard, because I think that can go viral for you for your local market and potentially give you a lot of clout. And who knows, maybe it goes big and then the mayor wants to meet you. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Hopefully Drake wants to meet me or something.
I was going to say, like, Toronto, like when I think of Toronto, I grew up in Cleveland. So like when I think Toronto, I'm like, oh, Drake.
Yeah. That's what
what was his name? Vince, that used to play on the Raptors.
Vince Carter.
It's like the two things I think of.
Yeah, like Vince Carter, Drake, or Wayne Gretzky. If I've met Wayne, haven't sold his house, but if I can get one of those houses under my belt, I'm sitting pretty.
Hey, that could go for the video. I love it. That's freaking awesome.
I'll just call out Drake. The whole video will just be me asking Drake to work with me.
I love it. All right, 2021. I want to see it. And then
he has a song that he talks about one of the suburbs there where he has a place.
I think he's in Bridle Path. It's like the sickest house ever.
Wow.
It's got like a basketball court in it.
That's freaking awesome. We're going to have you on the show again. So when we're like looking 3 to 5 years down the road, get you back on the show.
Yeah.
How all of that played out. And I'm sure viewers and listeners that are even listening can also follow you as well. Last couple questions. So, I mean, this doesn't really apply, but you can answer if you want. So, specific seller, buyer farm area, do you do anything with that? I mean, it doesn't seem like you really need to with what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I started out farming like a certain area of like 5,000 homes. And then I just kind of, like I said, I've been trying to grow into like more of the luxury market while still keeping the first time buyers and stuff. So I've kind of grown it out. I mean, my brokerage farms certain areas and we're very boutique brokerage. So the agency, so we, leads come in for specific areas and then they kind of will give them accordingly. But no, I specifically don't farm as much like a certain area.
Yeah. Love it. Awesome. So last question I have before we open the floor up to you is a secret weapon that you use to drive the success to your customers that you use. So you have a seller, they ask you to sell their home. I mean, I think obviously it's video, but like, how do you approach that now as far as when you have someone that wants to work with you? Maybe they didn't see your stuff just yet, the lead that came in. I mean, how do you approach that? Like formal listing presentation?
Yeah.
Hey, check out a couple of these videos. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, a lot of people have kind of mentioned that, like, how do you get sellers to agree to do some of these videos? Cause they're kind of, some of them are like, I dressed up as Freddie Mercury in one and like stuff like that. So, and it's just, you show the insights of your posts. So I have my insights of my post readily available in my listing presentation. So I say, yeah, I look like an idiot and it's a dumb video, but the dumb video got 40,000 views. That's 40,000 views on your house. And that's just on Instagram. There's more, and that's organic. There's no promoting there. Once, I'll promote your house. I'll put some ad dollars into it too. So I show that. And then you have to gauge it as well. Like if I go sit down with someone and they're like super serious, I'm not going to be like, check out, I fucking dress like Freddie Mercury and stuff. They're going to be like, get the hell out of my house. So like you kind of got to gauge it, but that's it. Yeah. It's my main kind of, and people actually message me now and they're like, we want to list with you because we want a video. So, and they say like, this is like our house. This is like our souvenir of our house. Wow. And then we're going to leave and always have that video, to look back on it. So I think that's kind of a cool, I don't give fucking fridge magnets. I give videos. You know what I mean? So,
dude,
I think that's cool.
That leads to tons of referrals because like if they share it on there, like, hey, check out this video my realtor did, it's going to get way more engagement and you're probably going to get way more referrals because people are going to be like, dude, this guy's hilarious. Like, let's do this.
Yes.
Yeah. It's fun. Like I try and have a lot of fun. Like I said, it's a commercial at the end of the day. Try and have fun with it. I do take the actual job very seriously. But I don't think that translates well. People say, yeah, it's unprofessional. I think it's unprofessional to, dress up in your Gucci pants and your Mercedes and your Rolex and show it every day on Instagram of you slow-mo on the phone, talking to nobody. I think that's unprofessional. I think that's unrelatable and unprofessional.
Yeah.
Dude, let me say this. Like, we were based in the Silicon Valley and like, we have a lot of agents and friends that are in this business. And a lot of it is like posh and luxury price point homes. And like, there's a time and place for that. But I think with this business, like it's so relationship based and the majority of people don't want somebody that's like just taking a bunch of lifestyle photos of themselves and driving around in a fancy car. Like they don't care about how much money you make. They just want a great experience either on the buy or sell side. And they want you to be able to perform and be friends and relatable with you. And I think that is going to slowly go away as more and more agents have traction on social media and being able to relate with the masses.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, don't get me wrong. I love fashion and stuff. So I have nice clothes and whatever, but I don't need to show everyone what I have, no one cares. Nobody cares. So, I just think, and there's something for everything. There's, like if you love cars, and, then show your car because you're going to get those car enthusiasts and that's a good angle. Right. So I'm not like hating on it, but like, don't just show things to show that you have a lot of money and you have a lot of luxury things. If you love, I love watches, I have some nice watches, but if you're going to go that route, make it more relatable and like be a little more humble with it. Don't write down in your notebook that you never fucking write in and show your Rolex in the picture. You know what I mean? Like just if you're going to do it, just say, hey, I have a Rolex. Yeah. I love Rolexes. I'm passionate about watches and, I love that I have this. Any other watch enthusiasts on here? That's all I got to do.
Exactly.
That's why you don't have a lot of haters, Matt, because you're doing something different that is more authentic and you're being true to your authentic self. And because you're taking that approach and that angle, it just shows something completely different where people are like, what? Either they don't get it, they love it, or they're like confused.
Yeah. Or they're like, what is this?
What is this? But that's super cool. I love that. Yeah. I think the whole, look at me and lifestyle, I think it should be more about how did you get that? Like, did you think positively? How many hours did you put in? Like, how are you making that type of money to own that Lambo or whatever it is?
Yeah, exactly. I want this. It's all about the story.
Yes.
And Ryan Serhant says, facts tell, stories sell.
Mhm.
And, you know, I love that saying. And that's what it's about. Exactly what you said. Like, if you have a nice car, what's the story behind that nice car?
Yeah.
Are you $5,000 in debt every month and can't afford it? Or like, did you work your ass off and this was always your goal to get a Lamborghini because you saw, you know, a movie with a Lamborghini when you were 6 years old and this was your life goal and you got it because you worked your ass off for 10 years.
That's huge.
I love it. I absolutely love that. I love seeing people's success stories.
That's huge. I love that too. I think that makes way more sense. So
yeah,
we're at the point of the episode now where the floor's open, man. Like, I mean, what's going on? What are you up to? What are you doing? What do you want to share? I mean, viewers and listeners, I'm sure they're interested because you got some cool stuff in the works and some cool stuff you're doing.
Yeah. So, just building my content more, really trying to take it to the next level. I grow my YouTube. Like I said, I have a podcast coming out with the Broke Agent. It's called Over Ask. It'll be out by the time this comes out. I'm the host of it. We got some pretty big guests right off the bat. We're doing first episode is Jordan Cohen. He's the number one Remax agent in the world. And then second guest is Ryan Serhant. And he's Ryan Serhant, $1 Million Listing, that stuff. And we got some other really cool guests. It's presented by the Broke Agent, hosted by me. And then I would just say, you know, anyone who's thinking of doing video, you just got to do it. I mean, the podcast, Eric, the Broke Agent, and I thought about doing it last month. And we have those 2 guests now. You know, it's not perfect. I don't have a cool studio or anything. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to do it. And then you'll get better. Things will work out. So it's like, if you're doing video, thinking about doing it, just do it. Put it out there. If you don't want to put it right out there to your social right away, put it out to your family. If your family likes it, put it out to your brokerage. If your brokerage likes it, okay. And it just gets better and better. If you're nervous about filming video, just film a bunch of videos and don't ever, knowing you're not going to release them, and just watch them and see where you can get better. But just, you got to do it. You got to do it, or, you know, you're never going to do it. You're always going to find an excuse. So just do it, you know, and do what's true to you. If you say fuck, then say fuck. If you like horses, then ride horses in videos. If you buy $500,000 Lamborghinis, then buy that and show it. And there's going to be a market for anything, unless you're a complete dickhead. Okay. So
we've seen it.
Yeah. So there's a market for anything. So find out what you like, what you're passionate about, and then film it. Yeah. That's it.
Wow. I love that. And I have to add, the podcast is awesome. The podcast gives you a way to be able to network during these times all around the world. I mean, I'm in Arizona, he's in Oregon, you're in Canada. It's like, you know, it's amazing. So yeah.
So sick. And I love your stuff already. Like you said, this podcast, we would have never met if you didn't have this podcast. And now that's, you know, now we know each other, we can network, referrals, anything. So, I mean, that's awesome. And you guys are great at it. It's, you know, some podcasts I see and it's like, it's hard to watch.
Yep.
This shit.
It's horrible, man. We try to keep it. We try to, you know, we'll go left to center. We'll go off script. We kind of have a script, but we try to bring people in and dig into like what their why is, and like what they're doing that can collaborate and contribute to the community. Because I think a lot of real estate agents just come on here, they talk about themselves, and then they're like, yeah, I pretty much do everything everyone else does. And we're like, ooh, that was not the best guest to have.
Yeah. So, I know that's a lot. You gotta, it's a lot of it's about guests. Like, and you can't have a lot of the same guest because it's going to get boring, and then just always keep it fresh. And
this has been great.
Yeah, this has been
Thank you.
Hopefully. Appreciate this opportunity to interview you and go through this whole thing. So Matt, thanks so much for being on Real Estate First Tech. Appreciate you. Dan, thanks so much for being a co-host. Appreciate you co-hosting.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Great to meet you, Matt.
Yeah. Great meeting you guys. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. And thanks to all our viewers and listeners, as it is our intention for you to take some of our episodes, apply to your business, have more massive success, and we will see you on the next one.
And made it to the end. Well, thank you so much for watching Real Estate vs. Technology. We hope you found value, especially something you can apply to your real estate business. If you could do us a favor, we would appreciate it. A thumbs up. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell, you'll be notified for new episodes coming out, and comment below. What the heck did you learn? If you want to join our Facebook group page, there's a link right here. And if you want to be featured on Real Estate vs. Technology, send us a DM on our Instagram page. We'll see if we get you on the show. So, take care, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.